Once upon a time, in a small village at the edge of a big forest, lived a lazy frog. He was so lazy that he didn't want to move from his comfortable spot under the big tree. All day long, he would just sit there and watch the busy ants going back and forth, carrying crumbs many times bigger than themselves. One day, the frog noticed a little ant struggling to carry a bread crust 4 times its size. "Hey, you there, little ant," the frog said. "Why don't you come and rest for a while? It's not worth the effort to carry such a heavy load." The little ant ignored the frog and kept moving. The frog was taken aback by the ant's response. He had never seen an ant take any notice of him before, but something in the ant's tone made him curious. As the sun began to set, the little ant finally reached its destination and disappeared into a hole in the ground. The frog sat alone in the darkening evening, thinking about what the little ant had said. For the first time in his life, the frog felt a strange urge within him, a desire to do something other than sitting under his tree all day. He wanted to explore the world beyond the forest. With newfound determination, he hopped off his branch and started walking toward the big wide river he had seen in the distance. As he approached the river, he noticed more ants, this time carrying crumbs even bigger than the ones he had seen before. The lazy frog wanted to call out to them and tell them how pointless their hard work seemed, but he stopped himself. Instead, he asked one of the ants, "Where are you guys going?" The ant, without even looking at the frog, replied, "We're on our way to the great ant hill. We've got crumbs for the queen ant." "And why should the queen get all the crumbs?" the frog asked. "Why don't you share them with me?" The ant stopped, turned around, and looked at the frog. "You don't understand," the ant said. "We work extremely hard to collect these crumbs. We have to work together in huge groups to move them. And even then, it takes us a very long time. If we don't bring the crumbs back to the anthill, we'll starve. That's why it's important." The frog thought for a moment. He realized that for the ants, carrying these crumbs wasn't just some pointless task. It was essential for their survival. The frog felt a pang of guilt for mocking the ants and wasting his own life away under the tree. He asked the ant, "Can I help you carry this load?" The ant looked at the frog for a moment, then turned back to the road and said, "No, you can't help us. You're too slow and too weak. Just get out of here." The frog felt sad, but at least now he understood why the ants worked so hard. As the frog slowly made his way back home, he saw a butterfly fluttering past him. The butterfly was beautiful, and the frog couldn't help but envy its carefree, happy life, always flying around from flower to flower. Suddenly, the frog noticed something strange. The butterfly had gotten caught in a spider's web. The frog didn't even like butterflies, but seeing it trapped like this made him feel bad. Without thinking twice, the frog jumped into the web and scared the spider away. The butterfly, freed from the web, fluttered around the frog in gratitude. "Thank you for saving me," it said. "How can I ever repay you?" The frog thought for a moment. "Well, you can start by telling me why you're always so happy and carefree. Well, I'm stuck here being lazy. You seem to be enjoying life to the fullest. Can you teach me how?" The butterfly agreed, and the two became friends. The butterfly taught the frog how to appreciate the little things in life and to find joy in every moment. The frog no longer spent his days doing nothing. Instead, he would go out into the world and try new things like climbing trees or catching flies. He even started helping the ants carry their crumbs, and they eventually let him join their group. The frog was no longer lazy or unhappy. He had learned that life is too short to do nothing, and that even the smallest things can bring great joy if you just take the time to appreciate them.